Alright, so today I want to show you how I created these bottles. They are very simple to make and they are looking very good in my opinion. So let's just start. So what you want to do is you want to either start with a cylinder or circle. I prefer circle. Tap into edit mode, extrude on the Z axis, then do as follow. Move it up like this, then extrude like this, and then up here you can move it out like this little bit, depending on how you want this top to look like. Begin with something like this. You can have any form, like you can have a wider base or whatever, but then the top here, we want to bevel it a little bit, so I will add a loop cut by Ctrl R, and then I will scale it with S. Then I will press Ctrl B and create these bevels. Just scroll your mouse wheel a few times and you will get it looking like this. I will do the same here, bevel, and also down here. But since we don't have any face down here, we press F and then we bevel this a little bit like this. We can also, to make it even more interesting, insert this and move it up a little bit, something like that. Then we can shade out the smooth. And then I will also add a solidify modifier and have it go in like this, minus 0.03. So here, hold Alt, left click, Shift D, right click, press P by selection, tab out of edit mode, go into update mode, select the other circle. We can rename this by double click and rename it top. Then we can scale it in, sorry. We right click and set origin to center of mass. Then we can scale it in a little bit so it doesn't is inside of the glass. Then we can also remove in edit mode like this. Alter again like this, you see. Then E, S, move it in, and then extrude it down, and then press F. And then up here we can press F and move it up like this. So now we have a top and we have our glass. And for the glass shader, we will create a, or actually I will start off by making the scene. So I will select face selection mode here, then press G, Z and Shift tab to snap it to the face like this. I will scale it down just a little bit more. Something like this, and then I will create my scene. I will extrude this and bevel this, then shade out the smooth. And I will also scale this on the x-axis and move it like this. Then I will add a camera and select the Y here and or numpad 1. Then I can press Ctrl Alt and 0 on my numpad, and in this little tab we can align it better like this, something like that. And I will also change the resolution to 1920 by 1920 like this. And then for the glass shader, I will create a new material called glass. And I will put down the roughness to 0 and add transmission and also add a little bit of sheen and turn down the roughness to something like this. You will see later on what that makes. And for the background, I will have another material. And here I will make it a black color. something like this. And to be able to see the glass shader, we have to go into cycles. And to make it easier for my computer, I will select the GPU and have the noise threshold to 1 and also have 100 samples and denoise. I will also make it easier for my computer by pressing Control B and drag my left mouse button over the screen to select only the camera. Then I will also add a light so we can see something. I will move it above the glass, and then I will copy this light by pressing Shift D in Y-axis and then rotate it on X-axis or X to have it like this. So now we can see that we have a transparent glass shader. If we want to here, we can also change the color to green or blue, whatever. I like the green color, so I will have it to green. Then for the top, I will create a new material. And in the shader, I will add a color ramp. And in here, I will add a noise texture. And also press Ctrl T to add mapping and texture coordinate. And you can do that with the help of the Node Wrangler add-on. And in here, to just make it easier to see, I would make these closer to each other. So now we can see some weird is happening here, and that is the noise. So we can do like this, and in the X, I think, yep, we can make it like this. So it looks like a cork. I think the cork is the right word. And then we can just change the colors to like wood texture. So one little bit darker and one little bit lighter. You can change this to completely black too if you want and have it in another color, but I want this to be looking like this. And then here in the roughness, we can have this to default, and we can also add sheen to this. And you see now what the sheen does, it adds an extra layer of reflections. So we can have it just a little bit like this. So already it's looking quite good, but I will also add a cube, scale it down, scale it on the Y and X axis, like this, move it closer to camera. We can scale it now on X axis and Y axis, like this, and then we can name this to ground panel, whatever, and I will make this to almost a mirror. And we can change this to black or white. Maybe I will have it to white. And also, uh, we can change the background to have the same thing as the glass or the cork, to have the color ramp, and then the noise texture. And then we can scale this because now we have a more interesting background. And we can add roughness or reduce the roughness. Detail we can turn up. Scale, something like this. Right? I will also change the color of the screen because I think it's too green. Like that. And already we can see we have a glass that's looking very good. I will also move this up a little bit like this. Now we can move up the camera because it's getting out of the view. Can move it down like this. And now we are almost done. If you want to add some liquid in the glass, we can tap into object mode and select the faces like this. And then when we have the X-ray, selected, we can just drag over the faces like this, Shift D, right click, scale it in just a little bit, then press P, selection, and name this to liquid. And this liquid also, we need to select it in the window here. Then we press tab to go into edit mode, and we will add a face up here. So select the vertices and press F. Then we can make a new material called liquid, and we can remove this one, and we can add a volume like this, and put this to volume. In here we can also change the density. So you see, if we turn up this very high, very little light is coming through. So I will have it to something like this, because now we can see there's something in here. We cannot see what it is because it's looking kind of off here. Therefore, we need to go into this light path and check this volume and add some samples. So now we can see that little black thing up here disappeared. So if we go back to 0, it's like completely dark. But what this does, it's letting light through the volume. So it's looking very good. So now we're almost done. We can change the roughness to look like a mirror completely. And I think we're done. I hope you found this tutorial useful. And if you did, leave it a like. And if you want to see more of this, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.